Hey, so today is Thursday, January 30th, 2024, and there's a lot going on, but there's something that I just need to put out there and make sure folks are aware. So, right now, the National Assessment of Educational Progress reported that there's a historic number of eighth graders with below basic reading skills, while 40% of fourth graders also fell into that category. The kids aren't doing well with the reading, right? Reading, comprehension, all of this. And they're attributing some of that to the pandemic and some other issues going on. So on the one hand, we understand the children aren't reading and comprehending, right? There's a good portion of them that are struggling right now. Okay, so there's that. Then you have a freeze on government funds out of the administration, which is impacting schools. It's impacting a whole bunch of different groups. Right now, the Attorney General out of New York, Letitia James, and some other attorney generals, they're all filing a lawsuit against the Trump administration to unfreeze these funds because it's causing chaos, right? But there's a Republican representative out of Georgia by the name of McCormick, who basically said that instead of giving children free school lunch, they need to work and earn money. He was quoted basically saying he used to work, so these kids basically they should get a job at McDonald's, they should get a job at Burger King and work and earn enough to get money to bring their food to school instead of the government providing free lunch, right? Now, kids cannot learn if they're hungry. And right now, kids are already struggling with their learning and their reading comprehension. Add to that the fact that it's been reported, and we know this is scientifically backed, that there's a link between income, education, and dementia risk. Now, before when I used to read studies like this, it used to annoy me because I'm like, this is not the real reason why people are having cognitive decline, because they don't have these degrees or whatnot. Yes, if you continue to use your brain as a muscle, you create new neuronal pathways. This allows the brain to be healthy, flexible, pliable, all of this stuff, neuroplasticity, right? The brain is working well, it's flourishing. When you learn, you keep learning new things, right? But you lose that ability if you can't do basic reading and comprehending, right? You lose that ability. But most of these studies really are talking about the social determinants of health, because with more education comes the capacity to have a higher income. When you have that higher income, you can afford the organic produce. You can afford to live in a neighborhood where they value clean air, just different things, right? You don't have to live next to the gas station. You could live in a place where the environment is cleaner because of that additional income that comes from having this higher education or more education, which then puts you less at risk for dementia. So basically, what's going on right now in the news, in government, is that when you cripple these young people, they're already struggling to read right now. The pandemic put a huge hit in it, and I know there are folks in education who are saying there's some other issues because they've been struggling to read even before then. They're blaming screens and social media and stuff, and I get that. At the same time, this is what's going on with the kids. And how does it help them to now cut off the basic need of food, right? Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that lowest level is food, right? All these animals out here where I live, that is the first priority thing they're doing first thing in the morning. The birds, the squirrels, everybody, lizards, they're all out here trying to get this food because that your lizard basic brain, right, is to eat. We eat for our survival. And then once we feel like we've been fed, we're not on this starvation feeling, then our brains can open up to learn new things, right? You can't learn if you're hungry. In which case now, if you hold back this support from these folks, you're moving the country further into a place of mental unwellness, right? From a cognitive perspective, which does not help our future workforce, and from a mental health perspective, mental health is already on a precipitous decline, and it's getting worse. And so some of these things, even the conversations around them, is actually quite alarming, surprising, shocking. And it seems like it's all in an effort to save money, right? But this is working against us. I would love to hear your thoughts, especially if you've worked in education before. What are you thinking about what's going on and how it's impacting the health of our population?